I am pretty confident there's some public that want to talk about it.
You got your crackpot police department. How many times have they came up into the city hall and pulled somebody off of an employee? It's never happened.
This is a public building. This is City Hall.
This administration, every time something happens, he run and holler, oh, for the safety of my employee, the safety of the city hall.
I recently had a chance to watch the video of the gentleman who came here with the First Amendment right to protest all this, put the city of Apopka on blast. And then when you watch the videotape of the young lady, the mayor said, she didn't resign, she quit because of all this, all the backlash. Well, if I was the mayor, her actions that day, I would have fired her on the spot.
If you do anything, do something for the citizen of Apopka.
Welcome back, Liberty Trollers. So a couple of weeks ago, I dropped a video of the first reading of this highly unconstitutional ordinance known as Ordinance 3081. It's an ordinance that was triggered by First Amendment audits at the Apopka City Hall over the last year. This was stated by the attorney during the reading of the ordinance back in November 6th of this year. And he also stated that this ordinance is being modeled after the ordinance in Punta Gorda. I already explained in that video why Punta Gorda isn't going to save the city of Apopka on passing this ordinance. You can find the link to that video in the description of this video. Please watch that video to better understand how we arrived to this point. At the center of the board, you have the Apopka City Mayor, Bryan Nelson. Mayor Nelson does not like the First Amendment, and he has said that me exercising my constitutional rights was quote-unquote harassment toward the employees in City Hall. Now, Commissioner Alexander Smith, who sits to the right of the mayor, is a yes man. He's there to vote in favor of whatever Mayor Nelson wants to do. Commissioner Nadia Anderson is a yes woman. She appears to be infatuated with herself, and there's a big question mark as to if she even qualifies to be an Apopka commissioner. You have to live in the city limits for 1 year prior to running or prior to the election. I have sources that say she falsified documents in order to obtain her position. Then there's Vice Mayor Diane Velasquez. I've seen her raise good questions and concerns, but ultimately she voted in favor of Ordinance 3081. The mayor and all these commissioners voted in favor of this treason. The only one who voted against this treason, again, was Commissioner Nick Nesta. He was the only one who stood up to tyranny. Let's jump into the city council meeting where they passed this unconstitutional, treasonous ordinance.
All right, Mayor, this is the security ordinance, if you will, for access to public buildings on second reading. Just so for clarification, because some of you may be confused thinking, didn't we already do this? The city does have, as it was adopted, a security policy, I believe by resolution, that has been in place. That's why you've seen signs on the doors and various other places designating what is accessible and what is not. And it was made necessary so that all staff would know how to react in the situation of someone coming in and wanting access and knowing what was appropriate under that policy and not.
Go Fish. This was simply put in place so they can put restricted area signs on virtually every single area beyond the barricade in the city hall. So if you go into the city hall past the first sign that says restricted area, you basically look at every single office door and there's a sign that says restricted area. This guy is full of it.
What this does as an ordinance is it codifies some of the things that are in our policy and specifically gives the city administrator or designee or designees the ability to, upon viewing or observing a violation of the rules that are set forth in the ordinance, the opportunity to ask for a trespass notice be given or trespass warning be given by the PD. Now, this ordinance doesn't cover that, but what happens is once a trespass warning is given, then it becomes a police matter. If there's a repeat violation that could lead, I'm sure that the chief will talk about this, could lead to arrest, but usually the attempt is to de-escalate and just get the person to stop doing whatever it is that they're doing. All of which I'm sure that Chief McKinley can explain to you, but that's the purpose of this ordinance on second reading. I am pretty confident there's some public that want to talk about it. So unless you have any questions for me first, I will stand aside.
What's the resolution number of the policy that's in place?
That I don't remember. Do you know, Mr. Smith?
No, okay. Yeah, you don't remember what resolution number?
So it wasn't a resolution.
I know it came before this body. I know we discussed it. If it's not a resolution, I misspoke, but it's not something that was adopted out of your view.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
All right. Good. All right. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this matter?
Leroy Bell, Apopka. You know, it's funny that this administration, John Land, for 60 years, kept the doors open at this city hall and the old city hall. I know, because I was able, as a young man, all the way up to the age of 16 or 17, just before I graduated and went out to the Army, I could walk into the city hall and go into his office. I played up under his desk. From there over to the museum with Miss Gillum Bell. I don't think that you got people here in Apopka that want to harm anybody here in the city of Apopka. What you do is this. You got your crackpot police department. Go check their records. How many times have they came up into the city hall and pulled somebody off of an employee? How many times have it happened? It's never happened. That's just like they're saying that people go over in Earl Estate from South Apopka and break and enter it. How many times you know somebody to go over there and rob over in Earl Estate? It just don't happen. What this turning out to be this administration. Want this to be a murder. This administration, every time something happens, he run and holler, oh, for the safety of my employee, the safety of the city hall. Half of the people in Apopka have served in the military, in the service, and different services, foreign services. They want to come access the city hall. But no, it is this administration that's trying to strong arm people. If this administration was above board and wasn't so underhanded, you wouldn't have to be scary. It makes no sense. And this attorney know. You can go downtown Orlando. You can go to any town around here in Orange County and walk up into the city hall. But it's always got to be a problem with this man. It always, and you know, it really don't irks me. It used to get up under my skin, but it don't bother me, Bryan Nelson, that you sit up and snickle and grin. It just shows how immature and how dumb you really look. And if you guys, y'all not serving this guy, he didn't elect you, he probably helped you got elected. But ultimately, you guys serve the people of Apopka at large. And please, if you do anything, do something for the citizen of Apopka. Get a backbone.
Sylvester Hall, Apopka. I'm just sitting here. This is a public building. This is City Hall. Everywhere you go, you walk around, you can walk in. What if I want to bring my daughter? Just bring it to City Hall. Let's do a tour, see how the city works. So she comes in and see the city on lockdown. And for what reason? None whatsoever. I recently had a chance to watch the video of the gentleman who came here with the First Amendment right to protest all this, put the city of Apopka on blast. And you talking about having businesses want to come here and set up when they see something like this? Leroy asked the question to the police chief, how many times you guys had to call somebody, a police to city hall because you had somebody that was irate? What happened before we started putting the ID badge out there? What happened before that? What happened that would say, hey, look, this is what we need to do? And then when you watch the videotape of the young lady, the mayor said, oh, she didn't resign, she quit because of all this, all the backlash. Well, if I was the mayor, if I was the city administrator, her actions that day, I would have fired her on the spot. Because whoever trained her obviously didn't train her properly. Because her job is to meet and greet.
Your job.
This is my job.
You're not security.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I
You're a
am.
receptionist.
I take care of this building.
You don't do a very good
Come on
job. You violate people's rights.
And the whole situation should have been de-escalated by a simple phone call. Sir, wait 1 minute. And then if you wanted to proceed, still call the police chief. They would have came over and they would have handled it. No, but she wanted to go out, hold the door, and she wanted to do all this and all the back and forth. Whoever trained her need to be fired also, because that's is not how you conduct yourself as a city employee, period. Now I noticed on social media, we had a couple commissioners say she's very professional, where her actions that day, she was very unprofessional to the point I would have fired her on the spot. That's doing the right thing. When anybody from this city want to walk into City Hall, it's a direct reflection on us, how we do business and the atmosphere and the culture of our city. And when it don't reflect that, it tells a lot about the city. So you wonder over 40 plus years why the downtown don't have a skyscraper. You look around all the other communities, they're growing, they're prospering. But we have this old clique here and this old culture here where if you're not part of the clique, it's hard for you to get in. So what I'm saying to you guys is take a good hard look, because what you see, others may not see that, or they can be seeing something completely different. And I think it's about time we get on board to serve the people, the citizen of Apopka, not our self-interest, the citizen of Apopka. And once we do that, everything else will take care of itself. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak on this matter? Not, we'll close the public hearing. Look for a motion to adopt ordinance number 3081.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Smith,
Second.
second by Commissioner Anderson. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed?
No.
So Commissioner Velasquez, you were yes or no?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so it's 4-1 with Commissioner Nesta being in opposition.
And that's how authoritarian policies get a stronghold in cities across this country. It's all done in the name of safety and security. The only threat we've ever seen at the Apopka City Hall came from the employees, not from the people. Yet corrupt Mayor Bryan Nelson and Chief McKinley want to put more restrictions on you. The citizens of Apopka need to do something about this. I would venture to say that this ordinance is probably the most unconstitutional ordinance to have ever been passed in the city of Apopka. Yet only 2 or 3 Apopka residents spoke out against this in the meeting. Where'd the rest of you go? You guys are going to have to get Mayor Nelson out of there, along with those commissioners, all of them, except for Commissioner Nesta, who has my respect, by the way. Remember what our forefathers said. Those who give up their freedom for safety and security deserve neither. This is the leadership that they warned us about. And you guys should do something about it. Sitting on your hands and waiting on someone else to come to the rescue is not going to save you. So please, help yourselves. Get out there. get your hands dirty, get a little uncomfortable, and make the change that needs to happen in Apopka, because you, the citizens, members of the public, are losing your rights. And it's happening all across the country. God save us. Anyway, thank you for watching as usual. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Liberty Troll. Truth, trigger, troll.